Ooh, you got golf going on.
I think we're live. So, good day, everyone. Good day, America. I am Dana, the Angry Citizen, coming to you live today at 3 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Saturday, August 19th, with my amazing guests, friends, allies, brother, sister, Anna from the Flame USA, and Ohio Brett Ball. It's really good to see you guys. Thanks for joining me.
Thank you for having us, Dina. We're excited.
Dana, I got my ankles taped. I'm stretched. Put me in, coach.
Rock on. So it's been a while, but there's a lot going on right now, and I was really curious to get your insights and observations. We've talked a little bit, you and I, Brett, about the Lahaina fires. I think that everyone in the Freedom Truth movement knows that they were set. It's obvious it wasn't an accident. It wasn't some campfire that got out of control, swept through the entire city, burned buildings down to the core, to ash. And we're seeing this kind of thing from our government now. They're getting very bold about it because they're cornered and desperate. And I don't know, what have you guys been hearing out in the world from friends and allies about this?
Go ahead, Anna.
I know for us, we wrote an article months ago about the 15-minute cities, and it was stated, and I can't remember who stated it, but that Hawaii would be the first place that they would try to implement that. So I think from a common sense perspective, it makes sense that you would have to destroy an entire area in order to rebuild an infrastructure that then has to follow the new guidelines of how things have to be built, more energy efficient. And so I do believe that it is purposeful so that it has to be rebuilt in a form to become a 15-minute city.
Does that sound right to you, Brett?
The boots on the ground that I have, many of your international audience, Dana, and I'm so proud of the work that you do, centered out of Maine, coast to coast, border to border, and all your followers around the world. It's an honor to be here in the locker room with Dana and Anna. But many of you know I was blessed to go to all 50 states in 12 months. So I met some great family and friends on Maui, Oahu, and Kauai. And then that was last August. And then this past February, I was blessed to take Dr. Judy Mikovits out there for 7 straight days, those same 3 islands. So those same family and friends and teammates have been sending me videos, and I'm going to be bringing some on my shows coming up here soon. But just one disgusting item that no one's talking about from boots on the ground is there's over 500 missing children. So we were just in an event at Floodgate Church in Heartland, Michigan. Anna and Nicole did such a great job speaking at that event, Dana. It was a sex trafficking, child trafficking focus. So it's so evil on so many levels of what's happening in Hawaii.
Did we lose Dana? That's okay. I think another thing too that we've been hearing is that spring water was shut off. People weren't coming in to help, aid wasn't coming in to help. That seems kind of odd. You would think that even if something happened on one side of the island, all aid would be coming from the other side of the island. If you have fires happening, why are they shutting off water? So there's so many things that to me just don't even make sense. But I think, obviously for us normies, this government tyranny doesn't make sense because we just can't even imagine that this would be happening. So Brett, I haven't even heard about the missing children. And I know last numbers, somebody was stating the other day, there was like 66 people dead. I saw 99 people dead, and it's still growing. And so they're not even talking about the missing people yet.
That's right.
And that's super concerning because there's no reason why that many children should be separated from thetheir families.
Well, all of the truth will always come out. Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, in this day and age, that it seems to me that we can't trust anybody anymore. Our pastors, our mainstream media, our football coaches, our athletic directors. The Hawaiian Islands have, what I've been told, some of the most sophisticated siren systems for hurricanes and weather. And the questions that the local people are asking, why were there no alarms? Why were there no firefighters there? Why, they have access to unlimited water. For your international audience that doesn't know, Hawaii is an island. They're surrounded by water. They have unlimited water and sophisticated helicopter and bucket systems. So the questions that the local people are asking, why was the fire marshal in the Lahaina area conveniently out of town when this happened? Where were the first responders? How come when we look at the footage, if that footage is real, how come there's still trees and grass and leaves? How come the tires, the rubber tires are still on the vehicles? Very, very confusing. There's thousands of different questions and nobody is stepping up the plate to share the truth.
Well said. And this is, for those who have not seen it, this is Lahaina before the fire. Beautiful paradise. And this is Lahaina after the fire. And it's important that we look at this very carefully because you can see the devastation and destruction, which is simply doesn't fit the narrative. You know, these buildings are just burned to a cinder, to ash, to powder. And if you look at the building over on the right, you see that building that's right in front of the water there, and look behind it and you'll notice that there's an entire little copse of trees there that's still standing. All the buildings around are burned to ash, not just burned, not just, and I'm sure that there are a lot of people out there who know when fires burn, they don't necessarily burn everything to ash, to powder. Typically,
that's
what
a
fires will do,
hot fire.
Yeah, so that's way beyond what a wildfire would be in terms of heat, and it just doesn't make sense.
That's a chemical fire.
And Dana, I love everything that you do with the Angry Citizen, and obviously Anna and Nicole with the Flame USA. You both are so great at asking questions. So I've been to Lahaina. I've been to the Pioneer Inn. I've been to the great restaurants there. And it's a spectacular part of Maui. And there's so many questions that we have to ask. And it is okay to ask every single elected official, both Republican and Democrat, what do you know about DEW, direct energy weapons? What do you know about militarized weather? What do you know? Are you on a committee? Let's get them on record. We have to go to them right now. At Oprah, we need to ask Oprah. Oprah, have you ever been to a briefing by Republicans and Democrats about this? And Oprah, have you ever been asked to get in position that if there is a natural disaster, that you will give billions of dollars or you will buy up the property and we can get 15-minute cities? Another question, have you ever heard of 15-minute cities? Are you involved? We're not doing a good enough job of asking the right questions because it's clear this is an abomination attack on we the people.
Well, and I think too, Brett, you and I were just talking about, we know that we're in spiritual warfare. Everything that is happening around us is Satan at its best. But the bigger problem is that we're in an informational war, and it is about people not asking the right questions, just sitting back and listening. Just like you said earlier, we can't trust anyone anymore, but what we can trust is our own discernment. When you know something is wrong, it is time to ask questions and be bold and not be fearful. And I feel like with the Flame, that... Yes, absolutely, Dana. Discernment. I can't tell you, every day I wake up and I hear something, or I'm in a place and I see something, I'm like, what? That doesn't make sense. I know people have common sense. They're just not using it. They're just not being bold enough to step out and stop putting their heads in the sand. And yes, it is going to take those questions. We have right now, there's a massive storm coming into California. They haven't seen wind and rain in that mass for over 100 years. Yet right after the Hawaii fires, now all of a sudden we have the desert being bombarded with rain and wind. I mean, wind in like the 80s. Like what is that? So yes, we definitely need to be asking those hard questions. We need to be talking about it, and people need to be providing answers.
Agreed. And I think the disconnect comes when we, the people, stop interacting with our elected servants. Mm-hmm. That happens because we gain a sense of frustration that they're not really listening to us, which they're not. Okay. But it's so easy to just go, hey, what are you going to do? You know, if I write a letter to my senator, they don't care what I have to say. Mm-hmm. And to a large extent, that is true. But that's the mechanism by which we gain control of them, because they work for us. Right now, they're not working for us. They're working for wealthy elites that are pouring money into their coffers so that they can pay for their reelection campaigns, which involves pretty much just putting propaganda on TV, cute slogans, you know, beautiful pictures of them smiling and laughing, and claims about their excellence and awesomeness, but not truth about them, the actual truth about them, their true history, you know, who they are, where they come from, what they're actually going to do when they get into office, because they all claim that they're going to work for we the people, but they don't. They get in there and they start passing laws that are unconstitutional. They start taking actions for which they do not have authority, as if they do. They usurp power they don't have, and then we the people end up suffering. And then the proper mechanism, there are lawful redressing procedures that we have available to us that we can pursue, but we have to get involved.
We don't.
You know, the three of us, you know, we're pretty good together. I'm really thrilled to have you guys on my team, honestly. So, but you know, we need 100 million angry citizens, angry Americans, to get on their phones and start making phone calls to these people and say, first of all, you work for us. Reminder, you work for us. We're not your slaves. We're not your vassals. We're not your servants. You're not kings and queens and lords, even though you live in $1 million, $1 million mansions and are overly wealthy and pay yourself an exorbitant salary at our expense. You still work for us. And rein them in and start asking them those questions. What did you know about this? What do you know about what's being done there? What do you know about FEMA? What do you know about all these critical subjects, and get them on record.
That's right.
With what they know and don't know, and make them either lie or tell the truth. Because there we have someplace to go for. If they're lying, they can be held accountable. If they're telling the truth, then we the people can demand action. And that's what we need to do. We're at the point now where we need to start demanding action, because us complaining doesn't help. It certainly makes us feel a little better. But the end of the line is those people that are in office, those elected servants that work for us, that are supposed to be doing our bidding. This is my very carefully penned animation. So if you can see this, but this is my representation of we the people versus the. See if I can make this big.
Dina, the problem is we continue to allow this.
Yes.
We need to get career politicians out and everyday citizens in. And until we can do that, this problem isn't going to be solved.
You are right.
Because they are all working for each other and working for their own agenda, and they are not working for the people. And so part of that is finding people willing to run, and the people stepping up and supporting differently. I feel like one of the main reasons Trump won is he was different. He wasn't a career politician. He was a businessman. And people liked that. They wanted to see the difference in a career politician versus a businessman stepping up. Did he do everything right? No. But were his policies amazing? Yes, because he was a businessman, because he cared about his country and he cared about people.
And he did what he said. To be fair, a lot of them don't. They'll say whatever they need to get into office. Yep. And you got to give Donald Trump his credit here. He did what he said he was going to do. He tried to build that wall. He said he was going to do that. He put America first. He tried to secure the border. He tried to hold all these people accountable in office. You know, you have to give the guy the credit that he deserves for that.
Oh, 100%. Yes, I don't like that he hasn't stepped up and, decided that vaccines aren't the way to go. But other than that, I think that he did a great job for not being a career politician. And so we can see the benefit of that. So we need to be at local levels. Brett and I were just talking about being in local levels, in the churches. I can't even tell you, we just were at Reunite America. And the takeaways from that is there's another pastor stepping up, and he's talking about abortion from the pulpit. He's talking about transgenderism from the pulpit. He's talking about politics from the pulpit on Sunday morning. I went to Sunday morning church. I know exactly what he was talking about. And so that's to be able to highlight another person on the team for humanity, another person on the team for society. And we need to be highlighting those things, and we need to be at a local level. We need, right now, you have Oliver Anthony stepping out, Jimmy Levy, Glenn Baker stepping out, and they're stepping in to the entertainment industry. And they're being heavily supported, right? And they're not on the radio in mainstream media, right? They're being supported by the people. And so the more we see that, the more we're going to see that we are the majority. We just got to do something about it. And that's going to take finding people to step up and run, because it's a money game. It's a money game. These career politicians continue to win because they have the money to win, because they are backed. So we have to do better. We can make this happen. If there's somebody running for governor in your state that is absolutely amazing, if everybody who agreed with them gave $100, they'd be good to go. But we don't stand up and do anything.
That's right. And I want to go back to the local level, because I agree 100%, Anna and Dana. And I agree with Dave, who's watching online. Dave, thanks for watching online. We really can't trust anything or anyone anymore. It's such a bad situation. Dave, I agree 100%. That's why I have righteous anger against politicians at every level. The career politicians
Agreed.
on the Republican and the Democrats. For me, this isn't even a political situation. They've already proven that we don't have two political parties. In my opinion, there's one uniparty. That bird is very evil, and it has two wings. One is the Republican, one is the Democrat. I am involved in all 50 states at the local level. There is the noise that is a whisper right now that I believe will become a roar, Dana and Anna, that the roar is that, there will be a third party, and it will be Christ-focused, Constitution and Jesus Christ focused. Because the Republicans always say, oh, yeah, you really want a third party. We'll never win another election. Oh, really? Prove to me how we're winning. How does this look like we're winning in any way? And I'm going to take the churches out of this, because show us in any denomination in America, Catholic, Baptist, United Methodist, Lutheran, Presbyterian, Universalist Church, any other religion, show us where we're winning, where they're actually outside of a few pastors in every state. And there are a few. It's called the remnant. Show me where we're winning in the church today. Because for me, and Dana, you know this, and Anna, we've talked about this at length. It's a spiritual battle and not just a political fight. There's a remnant. And so back to Maui, the people that I've met there, we have gym owners that own CrossFit type gyms that are organizing, taking water and toilet paper and canned goods out to the hard hit. They're getting overwhelmed with prayers, and they're getting overwhelmed with clothes. They say they don't need clothes right now because boxes and boxes of clothes and everything gets clogged up. They do need your prayer, and the dollars we're getting organized, because I don't want to be involved where dollars comes to me and I got to pass them out. I want to go them at the local level to who needs that help. And a lot of that is being organized right now. They did want me to go back out in December for 10 days. I'm going to hold off on that and probably go back out in January or February, because the locals are getting organized. And the righteous anger is beyond a boiling point.
Yep.
So now everything that we're involved in, Ohio Brett and Friends, Dana the Angry Citizen, Anna with the Flame USA, and everything we do from it's peaceful. It's peaceful. But we are rising up. And how can we peacefully have citizens arrests? How do we peacefully go to these elected officials? They're not even there right now, and hold them accountable. Unfortunately, that takes effort and energy. And it's a Saturday, and people are going to ball games and to the beach and to golfing. And I come from a sports background. I'm the first one to admit sports is a huge distraction. We're so upset about these potentially attacks on our own people, and we're so mad. But wait a minute. Oh, college football starting. Oh, high school football just started all across America last night. What was I upset about again?
Yeah, FIFA soccer has been dominating the airwaves.
Distraction. So
Credit circuses.
the three of us are involved on our own projects, but we come together on a consistent basis, and we're going to continue to sound that alarm to encourage all of you to plug in at the local level. That's why I'm excited to encourage everybody to go to Dana the Angry Citizen's websites. I'm encouraging everybody who's watching this around the world, go to theflameusa.com and please get a subscription. Go to your church and encourage them to buy 800, 100. Everything's explained on the website. We should have 1 million people buying a subscription and going to their church. That would be 1 million churches that get a physical newspaper, 80 or 800. Anna knows better than me. But why isn't this happening? We have to take action.
I found, Brett, that in my struggle to try to unite people, because that's what the Angry Citizen movement was all about when I started it, was just exactly what you were saying. It shouldn't matter whether you're a Republican or a Democrat, whether you're a Scientologist or a Muslim or a Jewish or Mormon or even atheist. None of that should matter. What should matter is we are constitutional Americans, and we want to see our rights held sacred, our God-given and constitutionally protected rights. And they've got us arguing about stupid, meaningless garbage to keep us divided and distracted, and it's working, and they are just doing whatever they want. They're plowing over us like a snowplow in Maine in January, just
that's right,
plowing through us, doing whatever they want with impunity, and they're ratcheting it up. They're not only are they bold enough to just do these things, they're increasing their severity, their frequency. We all see the chemtrails. We all go outside, we look up in the sky, and we see a long white trail of what we now know are potentially very dangerous chemicals, and God knows what else they're putting in these sprays in the skies. We see it happening. We should be asking for the heads of those responsible. Who's responsible for this? Every single one of them should be arrested. But we, the people, can't all get on the same page and make that
Dana,
happen.
I think, Dana, if I could chime in. Anna, did you have any comments before I chime in again?
Yeah, actually, Dina, you made the comment about what we call groupings, right? To pin us against each other. And again, it comes down to discernment. I mean, we're grown adults. We need to trust ourselves. When I look around, I don't know racist people. So I'm sorry, I can't get behind the BLM movement because they destroy things, and I don't even see it as a problem. I live in Seattle, Washington. We are a melting pot of everything. I don't not see a problem because I'm a white woman. I don't see a problem because it's not a problem. When we look
to be fair, Candace Owens agrees with you. And as she
I
testified before Congress, she said, how do I know this? She said, these are her words, because I am a Black woman growing up in America. So
I mean, it's common sense. Again, it's that discernment. Look around you. When I look in my neighborhood, everybody got COVID. Nobody died. A lot of people got vaccinated. And we have neighbors that have been in the hospital now for 1.5 years, back and forth, long stints. Common sense tells me, maybe the vaccine isn't safe because we didn't have a problem getting sick, but we have a problem when we're vaccinated. When we look at the gender issue, look at the science. You're either born one or the other, right? There's no, we should not be fighting about this because it's a lie. It is genuinely a lie. And we have to be bold enough and have the discernment enough to step up and say it as it is. And so the grouping is just ridiculous because we're not children who don't know better. We know better. We're just not willing to, I guess, get in the fight, have the argument. I don't argue with people. Who's going to argue with me that racism doesn't exist? Who's going to argue it with me? Show me what's happened that is massively racist, that we have this huge problem. Show it to me.
Well, look at the recent footage that was shown on TV of, there was a brawl down in Massachusetts on a dock, and there was a man who was a dock worker who was trying to move this pontoon boat because it was blocking a ferry that was supposed to be, and the people that owned the pontoon boat got very mad, and I believe they were drunk, and one of them physically attacked this man, like ran at him and shoved him really hard, and this huge brawl ensues. Well, the first thing the media says is a black man was attacked by a white man. It's not this some psychopath attacked a poor dock worker, because that's what I would have said if I had been saying this news. I would have said there was a guy, a dock worker, regardless of his skin color, he was doing his job. Some whack job came screaming in and assaulted him violently just because he was mad because his boat was being moved. But they want us always to have that constant pounding of racial division. You cannot be allied with these other people because there's a division that we're saying exists.
Yep.
That we're saying that
we're rising up. And you know that I come from that sports background, and Dana and Anna, there wasn't a football team that I played on that wasn't made up of blacks and whites, a few Asians, Hispanics, a couple Samoans. There were people who voted left and people who voted right. There were same-sex attracted and straight. So don't get mad at me if I'm sharing truth with the team, because that's what all we wanted. In college, to be honest with you, Dana and Anna, the only thing we wanted to do was go date the pretty women and go win ball games. Let's be honest. That's what we wanted to do. And some of us were real good at that. Mm-hmm. And we got to live with those. And that's when we tell our full testimony. We share what we used to do, and we're not doing that anymore. That doesn't mean we don't want to do it, but there's different reasons why we that's why I want to encourage everybody to get in that playbook, the Bible. And I've shared that with Dana and Anna. I encourage everybody to get in the Bible. And yes, thank you so much, Elizabeth Jordan, for joining us and watching. And I agree with you. And repentance has to be part of that political party. And if I was going to get involved with a political party, there would be a couple reforms. But most of the world would hate this. Because number one, if Ohio Brett was going to lead a political party, it would be Constitution and Jesus Christ focused. And then we would have some rules. No fundraising. What? No fundraising? How are you going to get your story out? Oh, they shut us down and kids couldn't go to school and they had to go to Zoom or social media. So guess what? There's going to be no fundraising. You have to be a weasel not to be able to get your story out with social media. And there could be social media reform that all candidates, they have to have access and no censoring. I understand that. But if you can't tell your story on going door to door in your town and social media and hosting Zoom calls, our politicians, Dana, would they be allowed to maybe get on a StreamYard and host their a call just like this for anybody in their elected official target area? Yeah, no fundraising. We could redo the whole networking on running for office. And here's another good one. Zoom calls. Guess what, buddies? You're not going to live in Washington, D.C. You're going to stuck and stay. You're going to live in your own town. So we, the people, know where you shop, know where you go get gas. We know where you live. You're not going to go hide with lobbyists in Washington, D.C. We'll let you go to Washington 1 week out of every month. And the rest, you can join via Zoom. There's some reform that people could sink their teeth into.
I like.
Yeah, not only that. I mean, if people are liking you and you're a good person, you should be able to public speak everywhere. Parks, churches, family parties, right?
Yep.
Getting people together. Ohio Brett, we were talking about that earlier, getting people to get all of their friends and relatives together
That's the
and break
future.
bread together.
That's it. That's the future. I'll throw one more thing out with my vision of this new party. No lobbyists. Or, okay, maybe we give lobbyists, you get 1 day every month. Bye-bye, lobbyists. No more dinners, no more nothing. We're allowed to get on a Zoom with all the lobbyists 1 day every month. So that's complex. But let me back up again, because everybody who's watching across the world, I want you to know that Ohio Brett stays at the local level. I've been blessed to go to all 50 states in 12 months. If it's his will, we'll do it again this year. And we're doing small local events. And this is what I think you're going to see in 2024 and beyond. A movement away from these big meetings, because it seems to me it's the same people that are professional conference attendees, and it's the same speakers, and nothing ever gets done at the real local level. What exactly I mean by nothing gets done is these people, 5,000, 10,000 people may show up for a big event, but they never take a time out and say, okay, anybody who's here from this part of Las Vegas or Nashville or Miami, do you know that your people in the third row and the second row, you guys live 2 towns apart and you have the same things that you want to get done? There's no networking done at the local level. We at the team, we're going to do that. So you're going to see, I believe, a lot of smaller events. Now, there are some events that I'm super excited about, and one of them, we're only 11 months away from our 3rd annual Maine Freedom Rally. And Dana, the Angry Citizen, does an absolutely beautiful job as the host. I'm honored to be the co-host, so I can't wait to get back there. I believe by faith, Anna and Nicole will be there in person this year. They did a great job via video, but those type of meetings will happen. But you're going to see a lot more of what network marketing companies call house parties. And this is where we're going to get the truth out. But it takes a lot of effort and energy. I'll give you that.
Yep.
But at these house parties, would it be okay to encourage people to go to Dana's website for the constitutional sheriffs? At these house parties, would it be okay to make sure everybody has a subscription to the Flame USA? At these house parties, would it be okay to encourage people the importance of reading your Bible daily? If you already have a relationship with Jesus, great. If you don't, great. If you're atheist or Jewish or any other religion, what do you got to lose by reading the Bible? And so these house parties, there's a core team of us. I'm on the team. Anna and Dana are on that team. And just so you know, everybody watching around the world, we are organizing at the local level. And that core team, I'm just one player on that team. But we are coming up with these plays that you can run at the local level. So if you get your head out of your butt and get in a game, all you got to do is have some friends over to your house and just follow the directions. We can give you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 things, and you can share it locally. That's pretty easy.
Amen. And it's happening. It is happening, nationwide. It's the difficulty we the people face, is that our source of information isn't one easy. You can't just flip a switch on and log into something and find out the actual truth of what's going on in the world and in the nation. The so-called mainstream media that many people still rely on is entirely subjugated. It is a propaganda tool. It's pure mockingbird. I've heard it recently. I don't remember who it was I was listening to was referring to it as the mockingbird media. And they're right. That's what you're seeing and what they're doing. And right now, every day they have a story about Lahaina, and they start with the title, their tagline. They love slogans because slogans get everyone feeling a certain way. So they have Maui strong, Maui strong. And then they talk about hope and encouragement, people coming together in Maui, Maui strong, Maui strong. Not, yes, our dark overlords burned the place to the ground so that they could take over, and they don't care who they murdered and how horribly they died, which is what they really should be saying. And we should be asking questions about how did these things, like we were talking about, how to aluminum cars get melted? How does a fire burn so hot that it melts aluminum? Why are there all these destroyed houses and next to them trees and bushes intact? How does a house made out of building materials burn to powder, and the bushes right next to that house are somehow still standing and still okay? These are the questions that need to be asked. We have no source. That was one of the reasons I got so excited when I met Anna and Nicole from The Flame, because here we are now. Guess what? You can read this for yourself. And the people that write it are people like me. I've written a couple of articles for them. Wish I had time to write more. And we're going to say whatever we want to say. And you can agree with us or not. We're not going to forbid you.
They let me write an article. I couldn't even get through college, but I got a good article in The Flame, baby.
So we're saying whatever we need to say, and you be the judge, because what the media and the government are telling you and Facebook is telling you, this is what Facebook's telling you. Okay, they're saying you're too stupid to make up your own mind. You are such a gullible fool that anytime anyone says anything, some tinfoil hat wearing person comes on and goes, the government's plotting to get us, and you go, the government's plotting to get us, and now you're all freaked out. Well, they're going to save you, little sheep, you poor little thing. No, calm down. The government's not out to get you. That's just one of those conspiracy theorists. We'll tell you what's okay. They even tell you on the news that they're trusted. They're telling you, you can trust me. Like the con man who comes to your house to try to con you out of your money, who says, of course you can trust me. I'm completely trustworthy. You'll never meet anyone who is more trustworthy than I am. He's lying. They're lying. So if you want news and information, you have to dig. That's what I spend a substantial amount of time doing. I know you guys do as well. We have a large network of contacts. They send us emails. They send us links, articles. We watch videos of various different things. And it takes a while to pick through them. And there are also antagonists out there that are stirring up the pot and throwing out bad information. So sometimes it takes a while to track down because they're making the same claims. Oh, you can trust me and this is true and that's true. Don't trust that guy, Ohio Brett. He's a grifter. He's a con man. And I have to take time out of my busy day to look at the video they posted, which actually has nothing to do with Ohio Brett, doesn't prove anything. And I just wasted 10 minutes of my time proving something I already knew was true. And I'll tell them, I know this guy. You're talking about a guy I personally know. This has happened to me several times recently with people I know personally. And I'm going, okay, you're telling me that this person that I know personally is somehow a horrible person and it's escaped my notice. And yet they are there in the trenches with me, fighting tooth and nail to preserve our constitutional republic and hold these sons of bitches accountable who are murdering and plotting against we the people. But here you come, random stranger, to tell me, oh, don't trust Ohio Brett because supposedly he lives with his girlfriend. This is the worst thing you could think of to say about Ohio Brett. He lives with his girlfriend. Is that really, like, I could write something way better than this. I mean,
well, I can show him a picture of my car because I don't even have a van, but I'm the man living in the van down by the river.
That's the two things, Brett, that pop up for me. Number one, let's assume for a moment that what you're saying to me is true and he actually does live with his girlfriend. Is this the smoking gun that I'm supposed to use to now completely absolve all of my personal experience with him, this man I've known and loved like a brother for the last 2 years? But now I can't talk to you anymore because you live with your girlfriend. It's absurd. Secondly, let's assume for a moment that I have a problem with him living with his girlfriend. That's for some reason that's a thing that I find terrible. I've lived with a girlfriend or two in my life, so I'm not throwing any stones here. Okay, but what does that mean? Like, and now I'm not supposed to talk to him anymore. Is that the plan? Sorry, Brett. Cut off all contact. Can't have anything to do with you. It's ludicrous. It's insane.
I don't even know how anybody can say Brett lives anywhere because if anybody knows him well enough, they know that he is everywhere.
Yes, that's right. Well, you know, my girlfriend, any relationship, there's ups and downs and everything. And maybe it's a good thing. Maybe it's a bad thing because I might get a chance to see her once a month. Because if you actually follow me, it's pretty simple. I was blessed to go to all 50 states. I might be the biggest idiot in America. I drove 47 of the 50 states. What kind of knucklehead does that? I did have to fly to Juneau, Alaska. It is a little difficult to drive to Hawaii. So I did fly to Hawaii. And then one of our mentors, Wano Savin, asked for me to go to Vegas on very short notice. And I was in Maine. So I couldn't drive from Maine to Las Vegas in 48 hours. So yes, I did take a flight there, but back to the craziness. There will be lies everywhere. It's happening in our own circles. We actually have courageous people who have worked media rooms all over that are being attacked. And we'll get to the bottom of it, and we'll stand up by our own. And if you do read that Bible and you do follow Jesus Christ, it clearly says in Scripture that you will be persecuted in his name. Now, that's why I encourage everybody to get in the Bible. And for your international audience, let me give you some breaking news. Ohio Brett enjoys a cigar. Ohio Brett enjoys a Guinness, an adult beverage. I kind of retired from doing shots because when I was a younger boy, when I did shots, I did things that I wasn't proud of. And so I'm not opposed to doing shots. In that
So you're
Bible,
not perfect? You're not completely pristine, virgin in every way?
all I wanted to do was be a German hair model, and I got fired. So I'm not perfect. So we got to light them up. But the most amazing thing is we have family. Anna and Nicole have become sisters, and they are
Amen.
family. Dana has become a brother, and he is family. Inside families, nobody's perfect.
Yeah.
But I guarantee you right now, there's maybe not even 10 people in this world that I could call on. And Dana's one of them. Anna and Nicole are two of them that if I actually needed help, they would pretty much drop everything and they would physically come to me and help.
Damn straight. I'd show up. I told you this and I meant it.
That?
I said I would show up with lawyers, guns, and money. And I am not kidding.
Yes. Well, Dana coaches me up, Anna. There's that stud in Maine. As Maine goes, so goes the country, Joshua Chamberlain. So we do have our boxes of bayonets. And if we run out of ammunition, we will charge. And our charging is peacefully, and we are organizing. That's why everybody watching this interview, please go to theflameusa.com and take action. Come on, you can't buy a subscription. You can't go to your church or the PTO groups and say, hey, our community needs to do this. Go to Dana.
And I think, Brett, with that, Dina, you said a few things that that were very important to actually think about. First of all, on the ground, over 50% of people are not on social media or watching mainstream media. And for the people that are, we can see by these fires in Maui what the problem is. Because if we don't start acting and getting change happening, we lose a lot of things. One of the most important things we have is our cell phones. Every single one of us is a citizen journalist. Every single one of us. All we have to do is record what we're seeing and get it to the right people. Unfortunately, when an entire island burns down, I'm pretty sure most people there do not have their cell phones charged and able to be working. So this is a huge problem because we cannot actually see or hear from the people who are there and are experiencing things and have seen things. They don't have a way to reach out to us. This is purposeful. Very, very purposeful.
Absolutely.
Because that is what our government fears the most, is the fact that we do have the ability to step up and say something and record something, but people aren't willing to do it. The flame is so important because just like Brett was saying, this is a spiritual war, but it's also an informational war, because if we don't get information out fast enough and get people activated fast enough, then we will continue to see what happened on Maui. We will continue to see it. We will not be able to talk about it. We will not be able to do anything about it. And the Flame, yes, is a national paper, but as soon as we have like 100 subscriptions in a state, we will do a local insert. So we'll get down to the local level. We also can do papers for organizations. If somebody is really, really fighting against one specific cause, we can get information about that one specific cause out to their members to get out. So the one thing I always say, we talk about these huge events, right? And being inside of the echo chamber. if you are at a huge event and inside that echo chamber, if you had 100 flame papers, you could get out into the community. So yes, it's great to go to these events, get pumped up, meet people who are doing things, meet new speakers, new doctors, and you're like, hey, I didn't know about this person. Awesome. But the flame does know about these people. We're consistently reaching out to the people who, the Dr. Sherry Tenpennies, who just get their license ripped away without any due process. And people just sitting there like, I don't care about your due process. This isn't America. We need to be highlighting these things. We need to be speaking up about these things. And the only way to do that is to inform people that they're happening. Because like I said, if you're on mainstream media, you're not going to see it. It's going to be censored. And if you are on mainstream media or social media, it'll be censored. If you're not, then you're not paying attention at all. And so having a physical paper to take out is a 60-minute conversation with anyone you hand it to. And the content only gets better and better and better. And it is a paper for the people. So if any citizen journalist, any person has something that needs to be told, send us an article. I mean, it's that simple. There is an outlet and there is a way people are not utilizing them. They are not utilizing the resources.
Well said. And I've been beating this drum for a long time because when people are on their way to go see things and do events and whatever, I will tell them, you need to live stream that or at least videotape it on your phone. And it's odd to me how reluctant people often are to do that. They'll distract. They'll say, oh yeah, I should do that. Well, blah, 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 this and that. I'm going to have lunch. I'm like, did you hear what I said? Like
people are feeling
fearful.
fearful
Everywhere.
They're fearful about what will happen in the moment and what they may or may not have to say. And I'll be honest, I was a banker, a bartender, I'm a mom. Speaking is my greatest fear. Ohio Brett, I was sick the morning we had to speak. It is not within my realm of things to do, but by the grace of God, by discernment, it is a duty. It doesn't matter if I'm good at it. It doesn't matter. If somebody asks me a question I don't know, guess what I'm going to say? I don't know. So people are fearful about something because they're creating this narrative in their head that they now are going to be on camera and have to answer all these questions and do all these things. No, people want to see the truth. They want to see things in real time. They don't care what you do or don't say. They don't care if you don't know something and you say you don't know. They don't actually, I'll be honest. If you're recording something, we'd actually prefer you not be talking because then you're disruptive to what we're actually seeing. So we need to get outside of that mentality that tells us we're going to have to provide this great content. No, we don't. We don't have to provide good content. In fact, mainstream media provides perfect content to a point that they censor everything real out of it. And all they do is tell us lies.
That's right. Many of you know I have that show. I have a show on Brighteon.tv every Wednesday, 4 to 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can find me in the locker room on the Ohio Brett Show. And I'm so thankful for our head coach, Mike Adams, and our executives, Bob Denny, and what a great teams they run because it's uncensored truth. Brighteon might be one of the biggest censored groups out there. Dana, you're getting great information out there. Anna and the Flame USA, you're getting great information out there. I'm thankful for Brighteon. And I'm also now, we have a show every Monday night, Anna, 8 to 9 p.m. I got a primetime show. We do. It's not me. It's we. It's the team. The team comes together in the locker room on the Patriot Party News, PPN now on Monday nights. And that's enough for me right now because I live on the road. And I will look forward to
Wait a minute. I heard you live with your girlfriend.
I don't live with my girlfriend, but I am on a path to one man, one woman in a consensual relationship that leads to marriage. And it's not easy. So maybe, Dana, we could give like a free table for all those haters out there when I get married and they can be up front and they can do.
So Flame will help sponsor.
Yeah. They can
I'm just saying, if you're haters, if that's the worst they have, it's I don't even know. It's very disappointing. It's like, you're going to play chess with someone and they just reach out and push all the
No.
pieces off the board, and you're just
The
like,
people
okay,
hate us because we're willing to stand up for our neighbor. It's actually called love of neighbor. And we don't look at our neighbor. Oh, wait a minute. You're black. No. Is there no white
right.
neighbors I can help?
Can't help you. Yeah.
Anna
Sorry.
and Nicole have some of the most gracious. They personally took care of me when I was finishing that race to all 50 states. They let me stay with them. They connected me to local churches. They took me out to high schools. They took me to the most precious native Indian lands. They taught me how to stick my butt out and shoot a shotgun and get my firm footing on the ground. Dana, you've housed me. You've taken care of me in Maine. You've let me park my fancy Lamborghini in your parking lot. Yeah, so it's all good. It's just family, folks. And yes, it is okay to have nice things. And there are projects that the three of us are working on through fundraising that we'll be able to raise dollars to bless others. But it is okay to make a living doing what we do. But at the end of the day, the core crux of everything we do is helping others. That's it.
Yeah,
and a lot of
people, we're not getting rich, folks. Believe me, none of us is getting rich doing this.
It's okay if you did. I'm saying that, Dana, I don't have any money. You guys know this. I'm treading water, but guess what? I keep going, and we barely get by. But we're putting people in places. It's not even about the money. The most important thing is, how do we get the truth out there?
Yes.
And how do we help our neighbors? If they say
I'm going to start a GoFundMe account to get my kids into private school, because I'm not even making enough to cover that. So I'm going to start like a GoFundMe. They can send it directly to the school.
I'll tell you this, if I were to use my powers for evil, which I've been tempted to do, okay, if I were willing to lie, cheat, deceive, I would be very wealthy right now. I would. Because it's easy to trick people out of their money, but it's not easy to persuade them to genuinely provide assistance to a good cause. It's much harder to do that than it is if I just were willing to lie through my teeth. I would become a televangelist. I'd have my own services, and I'd be preaching the gospel and lying through my teeth, and people would be sending me their money. So doing it the right way is hard. But if you want to support all of us, what you can do is you support the flame. So because that indirectly helps both me and Brett. Okay. But more importantly, it helps everyone in America, because this information that's provided in here is uncensored. There's no big brother coming along saying you're not allowed to, let's get our pen out here and we're going to cross out this. No, can't say that. Oh, no, can't say this. There's none of that. There it is. You decide for yourself. If you're too ignorant to think for yourself, then give it to someone else and ask them what they think. You can get
Tina, I hope somebody does YouTube, starts getting the flame and does that on YouTube, because no publicity is bad publicity.
I got something. I know maybe next year we'll do that opportunity with the lobster boats. We already have the GamePlanUSA.com. I posted it in the comments, and I also posted theflameusa.com. I'm all about creative fundraisings. Maybe Dana and Ohio Brett have to do a hunger strike until we get 1 million people that go get the Flame USA subscription. Hey, I need to lose weight anyway. So, Dana, you good with that? Let's do a hunger strike.
That's a healthy way to lose weight.
We'll have to. I don't want to be chained to you, but at least we could be chained to like a 30-yard chain, and they can have a couple beds, and we can sleep somewhere. Let's not do it in Maine, because the winter's coming. So if our hunger strike, we can't.
You're gonna have to be in Florida.
We'll be in Florida now. It could be Florida, could be Texas, could be wherever.
How about we'll stand in the snow barefoot, see who lasts longer? How would that be?
There you go. You would last a lot longer. I love your shoes, America. Dana has the most beautiful shoes.
Dana has the greatest attire always. Every time I see him, I'm like,
in our hunger strike to raise, we need to get 1 million people around the world that'll go to the Game Plan USA and give a one-time gift at any amount. And we'll do a hunger strike. Dana and I will chain a 30-yard chain, and we'll go find some spot, and we'll just drink Cardio Miracle and no food until 1 million people give a one-time gift. There you go.
Well, there you go. That's That's bold talk for a one-eyed fat man.
Or we could just a million people would give $10 to you to shave the beard. We could do that.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Ooh. Wow. Yeah. Interesting idea. So
we'll have to, he's like, we'll table that one.
yeah, in the meantime, though, everyone get a subscription to the Flame. It's relatively inexpensive. You go to the website, you can get 3 copies sent to you. You keep one, you take the other 2, you give them away, put them down in random places. That's what I do. I just walk right into the store like a boss, slap them down like I'm supposed to be there. Here you go. Got that done. I'll see you later. Out to the next store. And you know what? Sooner or later, we're going to get enough people on board that we will be able to act cohesively. Yeah. And one of the things that you guys have both referenced frequently that I wanted to address in my notes here is the fact that the pastors seem to be so reluctant to step up. That was very disturbing to me to see. I early on started trying to unite them in a group. I referenced constitutional pastors, and I was stunned at how difficult it was to get these people to speak out and do it. They were supposed to be the front line. They were supposed to be the first people to step up. So that group, I don't know what to do with. Haven't pursued it. However, the sheriffs are going to save us. In America, I keep beating this drum, and I keep hoping that people will get on board with me, because the local sheriff, your county sheriff, represents you, we the people in his or her county, and they have supreme law enforcement authority. And there's arguments among the learned that their authority has been lawfully diminished. I don't believe it has. I don't believe that the processes that were employed were lawful. I don't believe that the authority was in the court of those doing it. And even if it has been diminished in some places, it has not been diminished in most of the country. And these men and women are elected by we the people to support us in our counties. Their overriding duty is to protect us, to protect our rights, the rights of we the people, our God-given, constitutionally protected rights. And if we get behind them and we support them, we exclude all federal agencies, all unauthorized government representatives. They're excluded. They have no power, no authority. Brett?
Yeah, go to the GamePlanUSA.com. You're going to see Dana's website right there. He's 100% correct that the most important thing is to not every sheriff is on our team, but every sheriff has people that live in his area. And those people have to take action to support the good ones. We stand beside you. We have 1,000 families that sign this letter that when stuff hits the fan again, we support you. That's when we need to encourage them now. Because in my opinion, they're going to try to lock us down with masks. Evidently, they're doing that in Canada right now, that they're preparing for that. We need to get to our sheriffs right now and let them know that our families in this area, we support you and we stand beside you. We're not wearing masks. We're not going to take forced shots. We stand beside you. How can we help you? Because they hear from the evil side. They need to hear from us that we will physically go out there and stand with you, provide water, provide money. If they don't hear it from us, they're making their decisions on what?
Well said. Exactly correct. So if we the people wake up as a force, get involved, okay? Do something. Doing something is better than doing nothing. You can do something and something might happen, or you can do nothing and nothing will happen. That's how it's going to work, period. So subscribe to The Flame. Go to thegameplanusa.com. Check that out. If you can, provide a donation to The Flame to help them with their work. It's important work. It's not easy work. Both these ladies, both Ann and Nicole, are some of the hardest working patriots I know. They deserve our support, and I'm incredibly pleased and honored to have them on my team, as well as my friend and beloved ally, Ohio Brett. And I do gain a certain amount of hope and courage and strength from these meetings and discussions and videos, even though we don't have, a million people watching yet. I think we're making progress.
Yet is key word. Dina, before we close out, I just want to touch bases on a couple things that you were just talking about with the sheriffs. And again, it comes down to we the people, and we vote with our dollars. Part of the Flames goal is to be able to be active at the community level, supporting local farms. We have a Liberty Market just down the street who gets local produce, local meats. And so when we, the people, the problem with the sheriffs during COVID, a majority of them were being constitutional. The problem is that we have to look at that both faceted, right? Because these large corporations also have the right to trespass you. So they were not upholding the mask mandates and different things, but they also had to support if a business decided that if you weren't going to do something, they were going to have power. And that's where the government did a really, really good job. Right? They took them, all of these politicians took themselves out and they gave the responsibility to businesses and made it so that if you didn't get a vaccine, you were going to get fired. If you weren't going to wear a mask, then you couldn't come grocery shopping. They shut down all the local mom and pop shops, and big box industries were what was allowed to be opened. And they did not care if you weren't going to wear a mask. They don't care if they trespass you or not, right? So we have this level again that is we the people level. Know where your local farms are. Get involved financially in order to get smaller market mom and pop stores up and running and doing what they need to do, and vote with our dollars. Our sheriffs, yes, they're there to uphold the Constitution, but businesses also have rights, and that's what they were upholding. And we put ourselves in a position that those were the only places allowed to be open.
Yeah, we tolerate their abuses, and then they continue, and then they escalate, accelerate their abuses. And then when we tolerate that, they escalate it a little more.
Exactly. Yes, they find the loopholes in how things are working. However, if we basically had a parallel economy happening, private membership associations, guess what? You don't have to shut down anything. You have members that are allowed to come and go, and there's nothing anybody can do about it. So we need to be financially providing to those places. And that is one of the Flames goals, is to make sure that we have parallel communities so that if this ever happens again, we don't have to obey.
Amen. Well said. We are at our parting 1 hour mark. So in parting, any wonderful, encouraging, uplifting parting comments that either of you would like to throw in? Brett, you look like you have something to say.
I just want to say it's an honor to be on your team, Dana. I can't wait. We're 11 months away from the 3rd annual Maine Freedom Rally that you host, and I'm honored to be your co-host. Anna and Nicole with the Flame, what you're doing is so very, very special. By faith, I look forward to seeing you in December. Juneau, Alaska will be the 50th state this year, and it looks like we're going to be heading there December 14th, 15th. So I'll be flying out of Seattle, and we're just going to keep going. This team is so special, but be encouraged, everybody. And thank you for everybody who logged in and shared a comment on social media. Thank you for joining, and thank you for supporting Dana, the Angry Citizen, and Anna, the Flame USA.
I'd also like to say thank you, Dana, for having us. Thank you, Ohio Brett, for everything that you do. And, this isn't about us. This is about everybody. Everybody can get involved. And so I would just say to get into prayer and find out where God is calling you to be. And be bold. Be bold. God isn't looking for perfection. He's looking for action.
Thank goodness point. For that.
and so I just encourage everybody to be doing what you can, and that the Flame has big goals to stay activated. And so supporting us is definitely what is needed, because, like you said, yes, we're in spiritual warfare. But it comes down to an informational war, because people do not understand the spiritual warfare that's at hand. They don't understand how the government's involved. They don't understand how brainwashed they are. A lot of people are like, oh, don't say brainwashed. That's such a harsh word. Be positive. We're conditioned. We've been conditioned for a long time. I was telling Ohio Brett earlier, some of my favorite music growing up. I listened to a couple songs this weekend. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is horrid. This is like definitely brainwashing. And so we've been conditioned for a long time, and it's just time to repent and get involved. And the Flame is here to encourage anyone. You can always reach out to us. We're looking for articles all the time. And we need volunteers too. So yeah, be in prayer and be bold.
Amen. Well, God bless you both. I am so incredibly pleased and honored that we met and that we're working on the same team. Love you guys, and I am cautiously optimistic about the future. I feel like we're finally really starting to come together slowly but surely. So thank you both for joining me, and let's do it again real soon.
Thank you, Dana. Love you.
Thank you, Dana. See you, Anna. God bless you both.
God bless you guys.
God bless you both, and God bless America.